Ba-da-bum-bum.
Storm.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Souls. Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Dragon.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Roll. Dadventurous.
Welcome back
to
Dadventurous.
Adventurous indeed. We're back again for another week, for another D&D.
Episode.
In case anybody didn't know that we play Dungeons & Dragons, this is your first time joining the episode. Why? You should go back to number 1.
You should
That's
probably
crazy.
get the rest of the story.
You're a crazy person. No, I'm just kidding. But, so yes, without further ado, Dungeon Master, whenever you are ready, you can take it away with our recap.
All right. Last week on Dadventurous, Hob, Alfred, and Yarg, the Feathered Fangs, had recently met Runara, Elder Runara's true form as a bronze dragon. And she told you a little bit about the history of Stormwreck Isle.
She did.
And she said that she needed your help because there's something else, a new dragon that came back. And she's worried about another bronze dragon wormling that had gotten into an argument with her and left, and worried that he had gone to the other evil dragon that had shown up. Adron? Yes.
The Wise? Did I make that part up?
You made that part up.
Sweet.
And she asked you to go and find Adron, and gave you a small stone key that didn't really look like a key at all. It was more of a prism, but she said you needed it to get into the observatory on the southeastern side of the island.
That is very true.
You decided to prepare a little bit. You went to Turok, who gave you a elixir of health that he made. You also found out a little bit about his backstory. You went down to the water to train. Yarg sat on the dock making potions while you went out on the rowboat to practice your stances.
I did, and the most epic cinematic battle of all time played out.
The Marrow that you had met back in episode 1, back when you were on the ship coming to Stormwreck Isle, made a return, and you guys were pretty evenly matched. You had a sunset duel on the boat.
We shouted threats, we shouted life lessons, we shouted quotes and in the end, I was able to defeat him barely.
Barely. You had 2 health left.
I have 2 health left, but I kept him alive.
Yeah.
Maybe that will bite me later.
Maybe he's your true archenemy.
That's true. I am not the type to kill, so it's up to him to change his ways, but he's been defeated, and I feel victorious, even though I also feel like I need to sleep for a week.
All right. I'm assuming you come back to shore?
I think I said I came back to shore.
Yarg asked, how was your swim?
Yeah, and I go, Yarg, that was crazy. There was a fish person, and we fought, no, you didn't see. There was a fish. He was mad about the queen, and I don't know, I need to find a bed. And I just kind of stumble up the beach.
He kind of tries to help you stand, but he's too short. And so
I'll just way weirdly lean on Yarg.
Yeah.
But he's strong.
He's 3 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm leaning down and on Yarg.
Nice.
Get me to my cot.
You guys head up the hill with some difficulty. And by the time you reach the top, it's probably getting close to twilight, but the sun's still up. There's some of the kobolds milling about. Yeah,
I mean, I think I want to, if we can roleplay whatever you want, but ultimately my goal here is to take a nap for 8 hours, an 8-hour nap.
8-hour nap.
And can I talk to the kobold with wings?
Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
Mila. Yeah.
Can I do that? Maybe I'll do that in the morning, though.
Okay.
For tonight, I just want to eat and go to bed because I'm so hurt.
Dinner is being served.
Wonderful.
You go up to the dining hall. Weirdly, it doesn't taste quite as good as when you last had it.
The food?
Yeah, the food.
Is Tarok not the one cooking?
You notice that Tarok is sitting at the table when the food is being brought out.
So it's not his night. I go over to Tarok and I say, "Must not be your night for cooking."
Oh, yes, we take turns.
Yes, all right. Vacation time. Nice. What do you do on your free time, Terok?
Tend to my garden?
That checks out. I'm just like bleeding and
Are
bruised.
you quite all right?
I'm fine. I just need dinner.
Yes, well, it's Blep's turn to cook tonight, so...
Blep. Is that one of the kobolds? Blep?
Yeah.
Cool.
He's a fine cook.
Nice. All right, Terok, I'll leave you to it. Is Mila around? Maybe I'll just talk to her tonight.
Mila is sitting at the table.
All right, I go talk to Mila. I sit down next to her.
Hi.
Hello, Mila. Nice to see you again. I like your wings. Can I sit here?
Yeah, sure. Again, she's this female kobold, definitely older than Yarg.
Yeah.
But also has like a bunch of bottles and potions. Her wings, you've been up close to her before, but like you haven't really spent a lot of time with her. Her
No.
wings are a little bit mangled. But she does have them.
I sit down with a thump and go, ugh, ow.
Are you doing all right?
I just had an epic duel with a fish person.
Oh.
Yeah. Long story. Hey, question for you.
What?
Yogg here. He's a kobold. I don't know if you met.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I met Yarg.
Okay, cool.
The fellow Mixie brewer.
Are you a mixie brewer too?
Yeah.
Cool. Yarg, did you know that?
He says, oh, yeah, she's reminds me a lot of my friend back home.
Nice. Mila, if I were to look you square in the eyes and say the word Sharuth, what would you do?
Do you look her square in the eyes?
I look her square in the eyes.
I'd be confused.
Wonderful. I was just checking out. And then I look away for a second, and then I look back quickly and I say, Sparkrender.
Eh?
Okay, cool. You passed the test.
I heard a Sharuth, but...
You passed the friendship test. And I clap her on the back.
She's
And then I
very
say,
confused.
What happened to your wings, by the way, if you don't mind me asking? If it's a touchy subject, I'll leave it alone. But if you're interested in telling me the tale, I'll tell you about how I got all these bleeding wounds that I have right now.
Well, it's kind of a long story, and she takes a bite of her food before... Well, I used to have, I think I do still have these two brothers, and their names were Mac and Min.
Mac and Min?
Yeah, and they were...
Like a min-max situation. Sorry. Terrible joke. Go on.
And Mac and Min were always... I mean, they were pretty funny, but we never were very close. I came to Stormwreck Isle a long time ago, and, we got attacked by some of the hungry, icky, blood-sucking bat things.
Ah, the Badsquitos.
Yeah, and...
Ah, yes.
I
have also dueled with the Badsquitos myself.
Well, I got pretty badly injured. She kind of unstretches her wing a little bit and then winces.
Mm-mm.
And, I mean, it's pretty typical of kobolds. My brothers thought I was dead, so they left me.
Ah.
But Renara found me, and, now I'm here. I engineer things. I do a little bit of mixie brewing.
Nice. You have anything for sale? Or for givings? For takeys? Take backsies? You know. You want to barter? Ooh, we could barter.
With what?
I
What
got
do you
stuff. I don't know. You got any healing potions? I had to just drink one.
Well, I think I do have some healing potions. She rummages around in her bag for a little bit.
You got a big one?
Well,
Or just a little?
she pulls out a bottle. I don't make too many of these, but I could give it to you for a price.
All right. You want to trade?
Sure. Yeah, sure. What you got on you?
I've got turquoise stone. I've got a bracelet. I have this fancy compass. Pretty cool. I also have a chunk of obsidian and an iron pot. And I put them all on the table.
She goes, ooh.
Oh, wait, and bars of silver.
You do have a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll take the pot.
Just the pot?
Yeah, some of my equipment has been getting a little old,
That seems low. Seems like you're not getting enough here. I'll throw in, and I'll stick 2 bars of silver into the pot. That way, if you want to cook them up and turn them into something cool, you can.
Ooh, thank you. Here you
Yep.
go. She hands you the potion.
Okay, and which size?
It's a normal healing potion.
Okay.
You get the idea that she's not a very, like, super experienced alchemist, but she is...
She's got some stuff.
She's got
okay,
some
I'm
stuff.
back up to 2. Woo! Thank you, Mila. Also, you're cool. And I wolf down some food, and then I say, and you say you've heard of Sharuth? Anything specific or just sort of generic
I
stuff?
mean, I read through some of the books in the library, so I know
Yeah,
about
that's where I heard about her too.
history.
Okay. And that Runara, huh? Pretty, kind of got like an ancient presence. Very knowledgeable, very wise, very, I don't know. She's pretty old too, kind of like, some might call her draconic,
I mean-
with how old she is.
I love you're just prodding everyone to see if they knew.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you could say that.
I did. And I insight check Mila.
All right.
Does she know? 9.
You're not quite sure.
Wonderful.
She looks a little. You're not quite sure whether it's confusion, whether it's
Fine.
like withheldness, but
I look at her and I say, all right, Mila, keep it close to the vest. I get it. And I
What?
pat her on the back, and then I go to bed.
you just leave and go to bed.
That's my thing, is I just leave situations. So
Right.
I'm just going to walk out.
Nice.
Does anyone catch my eye or catch me before I go?
Nope. Everybody kind of is just eating. You spot Runara at the table, back in her human form, acting normal. She's
I give her a nod. The downward nod. The
downward. nod.
downward nod of respect.
She notices,
She notices. Nice.
and she kind of gives a little nod back.
All right. I would like to go to my room and I would like to sleep.
All right. Alfred perches. Where does Alfred like sleep?
I think
I think he's got a
normally
nest in the
owls like sleep on perches and stuff. Not Alfred. I like to think he gets down on the bed. He like flumps down onto his butt. He spreads his wings wide so he stays upright, and then he just kind of lets his head shrink into his neck a little bit. And he's just going, oh, as like a little tripod situation.
I mean, he just stands on the bed.
Well, he's like sitting on his rump, but his wings are out on either side to keep him upright. He doesn't lay down. That's Alfred.
That's amazing.
Oh.
I like that.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm pretty sure Flibbit slept very similarly.
Yeah. All the sidekicks have similar snore patterns.
But that's what he does.
All right. Yeah, you can take your long rest.
You know what is cool?
What?
Technically. Oh, but Yarg would need a full night's sleep. Never mind.
You're good.
I forget that I'm a wood elf, so technically I only need 4 hours.
I mean, you can do something at
So how
nighttime
about
if you want.
at the 4-hour mark, I wake up and I train, but this time I train just outside in the road underneath the statue of Alsdegar.
Astalagan.
I'm so
You're
close every
close
time.
every time.
I could just look at my notes, but it's not as fun. And then so now I can take my long rest.
Yes, you
Huzzah.
can take your long rest. You don't come across anything while you're training.
Okay. I eat a quick breakfast
All right.
and
You think you get up with everybody else
No.
or earlier?
no, I think I did 4 hours and then I let them sleep while I was training.
Okay.
And so, like, I ate breakfast early, and then at 8 a.m. sharp, after I've gotten my sleep, I rush into the room, and I say, Yarg, 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 Alfred!
What? Good.
We must get ready. Today is the day.
Yorg is kind of just like clutching his chest a little bit.
Exactly. You must be that kind of ready.
You scared me.
I know. Just think, if it was a dragon attack,
Oh.
now you'd be ready.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true.
That's right.
Yeah, you can get ready.
All right, I gather my things, and I would like to figure out where I need to go.
As you come out of your room, kind of.
Yeah.
At the end, after getting ready, you see Runara standing in the plaza underneath the statue of Astalagan. She's
Okay.
kind of looking up at it, a little like
I-
almost not like reverently, but kind of just like almost
Wistfully, like remembering.
yeah, like
Okay.
wistfully.
I go over to her and I tap her on the shoulder.
Oh, Hub.
Yeah, did you know that dragon or something? Because you're a dragon and that's super cool.
How blunt. I knew him.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
He fell here on these cliffs.
Ah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
He is a bronze dragon.
Cool. Pretty neat that we both have... Was he family?
Yes.
Okay. Pretty cool that we both have statues of family here. And I put my arm on her shoulder.
She just looks at you with confusion.
And I say, so anyway, I'm ready for destiny, but I don't know where the trail to destiny is, if you catch my meaning.
Ah, yes. Well, you can go by sea or by land.
I look out at the sea, and 1,000-yard stare of suffering and pain washes over my eyes. Can I like make a perception check as I look out
make a
to the
perception
sea?
check.
I want to see if there's anything. If I stare long enough into the abyss, does the abyss stare back? I got a 21 on my
Ooh,
perception
nice.
check as I look out towards the ocean, remembering my duel last night.
You see a splash, but it was just a fish.
Just a fish.
That jumped out.
A chill goes down my spine, and I say, I will go by land.
Oh, yes, all right. Well, come with me to the top of the cliff. And
Cool.
she, as you guys walk past this path, you notice her kind of duck into rooms. Some of them rooms, not all of them. And, like, calling people over as you walk up.
Like, to
And-
follow us kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
as like and you notice it's the last times you left, it was everybody in Dragon's Rest that sent you off.
Mm-hmm.
Runara is only calling out certain people this time.
Okay.
You notice Mila come out.
Okay.
You notice Tarak come out.
Sweet.
And you notice a little white-robed kobold that, if you can remember his name was Rix. He
Rix.
sent you the message that Runara wanted to see you.
Oh, yes. I remember him now.
He kind of just like follows along with Runara excitedly. And it's just those 4 that gather to send you off. And you reach the top of the cliff. You pass Brian. You reach the graveyard. And Runara says,
Where, the graveyard where I buried,
yes,
or where I
buried
the talisman?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
where Brastus'
So right,
grave is.
that was at the top, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
At the top of the cliff.
I say, hey, Brastus, Aletha, hope you're doing good down there.
Aww.
And I hope your evil god is neat. I don't know.
That was just about to get sweet.
Yeah, that's me.
Runara says, well, the observatory is on the southeastern side of the island. She kind of points a ways off.
Mhm.
And if you will remember, Alfred did say that he saw both a shipwreck and a building
Mm-hmm.
on the southeastern
I
side.
remember that.
And
Can I see it from here?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
You, now that you're up on top of the cliff, you can see in the distance, it's pretty small, pretty far away, but a stone building kind
Okay.
of set up almost like on a pillar of rock. You're not quite sure,
Kind of
but
like lighthouse-esque.
yeah, a little bit, but closer
Okay.
to the island.
As I'm looking out that way, does it seem like the trail or the pathway, depending on what she says, of course, but is this something that's dipping down again? Like, is there a valley between us and that point, or is it a straight?
I'd say you're probably at a higher point than the observatory.
Okay, so I'm looking down at it a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, you're looking. I like to think that there's kind of you're on top of a hill
Mhm.
that drops off into a cliff, and then the ground kind of comes down, and it varies a little bit, and then it goes a little bit back up
Okay,
at the other
so
end.
we're almost at a neutral point.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Neat. I say, I see it over there. And that's where. And I look at the people standing there, and I lean close to Renara, and I say, his name,
That's where
Park Trender. Is it Park Trender?
you're close. Sparkrender
Ah, yes, I was close.
is, and I hope Adron isn't there, but
Well, but what if he is? And he is savable.
well, I'd prefer you'd save him.
That is smart of you. That's why you're wise and ancient. And I look at everybody around again.
They give no reaction.
All right. And I say, so what must I do to get there?
Well, you'll follow the path.
Okay.
And again, kind of like the rest of the island, it's more of an animal trail. It's not really
Very
a path.
overgrown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you follow it through those trees and a little bit, and it goes along the coastline, and then you're there. And, well, I haven't been there in a long time. There, it is, I believe it is out in the ocean a little bit.
The pillar?
Yes.
Oh.
Where it's built.
Okay.
But
Sounds treacherous and
Use the key.
exciting. And I will use the key, and if need be, I'll use my umbrella hat. And I pull that out
I
too.
forgot you had an umbrella
and
hat.
I put it on my head, and I look back at Mila, and I say, it's always good to keep sun protection. Wear your hats,
that's very
folks.
true. She kind of goes up to you a little bit.
Mila?
Yeah.
Okay.
And kind of tiptoes up and tries to whisper in your ear.
I bend down. I
Okay.
cover us both with the umbrella hat. Ugh, privacy.
If you see any kobolds there, can you ask about Mech and Min?
Oh, I thought they, left the island.
I don't know.
You
but
don't know?
They might still be here.
All right. I will do my best to remember to ask about Mac and Min.
I can tell you how to spell that if need be.
I like to think it's just Mac like mac and cheese and Min like Min.
You're close.
I'll take it.
All right. That way you kept calling her Varnish.
I like to think that Hobbs' thing is that he just is bad at names.
Astazid again?
Astazid,
Park
Narc,
Trender. Varnish.
Yep, he's not good.
All right.
I look at Tarak and I say, Tarak, you're super cool. One day I want you to tell me about your tattoos. More.
Well, we'll see.
We will see, won't we? And then I say, Rix, and I go over and I pat him on the shoulder.
He goes, yes? What?
I don't remember you much, but you seem all right. And I pat him on the head.
Thanks, I guess.
And then I go over to Renara and I say, all right, I'm ready. We're ready. The Feathered Fangs will do this deed, and then we will find our destiny.
All right. Come back. Hopefully with Adrian.
I plan to. Gentlemen, to the trees! And I walk with a purpose towards the trees.
With your umbrella hat.
With my leather umbrella hat on.
Nice. Yeah, everybody waves as you walk away. You soon kind of get behind a little bit of higher bushes, higher trees. You can still kind of see the observatory, but it's behind some trees and obstructions.
I remove my leather hat
All
if we're in the trees.
Yep. You're in the shade.
I say, Alfred, take to the skies, keep an eye on the prize. Ooh, that rhymed.
Ooh.
And I send Alfred up to
Yes.
perceive around.
Ooh. And, yeah, he flies up. You guys, do you want him to investigate?
Yeah, I want him to, scout and
Uh,
just kind of scout above us while me and Yarg are moving around.
Yeah, make a perception, I guess.
12.
All right.
Oh, wait. I have advantage. Keen hearing and sight. A 13.
Nice. Alfred kind of flies around for a little bit, kind of darting in between the trees, goes up a little bit, doing normal flight patterns, and then he dives back down to you and says, ooh,
And
ooh. Make an animal handling check, as the last time you did this,
Oh,
to see
boy,
if you
'cause
can
I can no
understand what
longer-
he said.
16.
He tells you that I love this dynamic. He tells you that he saw a big cloud of steam up ahead and kind of by the coast.
I'm as he's telling me, I'm steam, right? Coast, okay.
And he also saw that there's the observatory and it is on a pillar of rock.
I say, Yarg, are you getting this?
Huh? Now, what are you talking about?
Never mind. Awesome. Well done, Alfred. Stay close now as we make our way through the forest of mystery.
Ooh, nice. All right.
And we continue on.
It's maybe another hour, probably, before you kind of reach the edge of the trees.
Okay.
And there's actually a shore here. Weirdly enough, the rest of the islands has been cliffs, but there's actually a little bit of a beach here.
So I've come down.
Yeah.
I've actually come down quite a bit.
You've kind
Since
of
the
been
grave site?
going down
Okay.
the hill. This path seems to wind a little
Okay.
bit. It's not a straight shot.
So I break through to the beach.
Yeah, there's a beach on this side. It's a very rocky beach. It's more
Okay.
boulders than anything else. But billowing clouds of steam emerge from the rocks ahead, and the air grows thicker with moisture. This is what Alfred saw. As you round a bend, you see a cove where a hot spring burbles up from the rocks into a pool before draining into the ocean. The turquoise water is it almost glows a little bit, and the basalt edges of the spring are lined with vibrantly colored mushrooms, which occasionally burst into a shower of rainbow spores.
Oh my. I say, Yarg, I think this is it.
This is the hot spring.
This is the hot spring of healing. We must take a moment. We have time, right? Right, everybody?
I think we do.
I think we do.
Just for a little bit.
I skip to it.
All right, you skip to it. There you're looking down into the water. It's kind of glowing.
And I feel that it's warm?
Yeah, you can tell it's warm.
Okay.
Do you examine it at all?
Oh, yeah. I want to, get down low, look deep into... Is it deep? Is it shallow?
Is
it
it's
person?
not super deep. It's
But I could get in?
It's probably about what you would expect from a hot tub. You can stand in it.
Okay.
But
I would like to investigate him with my eyes and
Make
then
a
touch it with
perception
my
check.
hands.
make a perception check.
That is in 4.
All right. You don't notice anything.
Perfect. And then I touch my hand into the water and swish it around.
It's pleasantly warm.
Ooh.
It's nice, hot tub temperature.
I say, quick, Alfred, attack me. Is it supposed to heal me, right?
Yeah. However,
Uh-oh.
you may not need him to do that.
Oh, no.
You did touch the water.
Did you say,
And
are you saying that
failed
my
on your
4
perception
doesn't
check.
find me
No.
something? What?
It was actually
What is this?
It was also a really low DC.
Well, I turn to yell at Alfred, attack me! And I turn my head away from the pool.
You feel your hand is in the pool.
Yeah.
You feel a ripple,
Huh?
kind of, next to your hand, and then something bursts out of the water.
Ah! I turn.
It is 2 familiar looking.
Ah,
You've seen these creatures before.
okay.
They may not be the same creatures, but the same type of creatures. Green, small, dragon-esque creatures made out of fumes.
Fume dragons.
They're back again.
Oh, no.
And
I turn to look and I say, ah! Hot spring beasts!
can you roll initiative?
Okay. Fitting. That is a 5.
Oh no. Okay.
Which, in case anyone was wondering, is a natural 1 on my dice.
Yarg got a 6.
Wonderful. We are so good. We got it. We got it, folks. Nothing to worry about here.
Congratulations, you go third.
Nice.
However, this fume drake right next to you is the first one to attack.
All right. My hand is still in the water. I was ill-prepared.
He sweeps forward
Ugh.
at you
Oh, no.
and
Pain and suffering is my only weakness.
attempts to slash at you with his
All right.
claws. Again, this weird feeling of gas made solid. He got a nat 20.
Oh, no. This is going to go
Sorry.
good.
You take 7.
Ouchies.
damage.
All right. I think the last time I fought these, they didn't hit me.
Yeah.
So I
not a
maybe was
lot.
expecting a small hit. And I'm like, oh no.
These are surprisingly sharp for gas.
All right. More dragon-based fumes.
Right. But that is his turn. It is now Yarg's turn. He is
Are there
going
2
to.
drakes?
Yes, there are.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to take a swing at the other one. They probably went for each of you, so
Okay.
they're probably 10 feet apart. He's going to take a swing at the one right next to him. He got 7 damage.
Yarg?
No.
To me.
Yarg did the.
Yarg did that
Yarg
to the
attacked.
guy. Cool.
So that was his turn, though. He's going to kind of just stay there with his scimitar out.
Okay.
Now it is your turn.
My turn. I'm going to... The one is attacking... One looks
is
like it's
attacking-
going to attack Yarg, but it
Yeah.
hasn't yet.
And one is attacking you currently.
But are they both within range, or...
I mean, they're probably only 10 feet apart.
Okay, but I'd get an opportunity attack if I moved.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just focus on the one next to me then. I'm going to take a little scoop of water
Ooh.
and throw it up into the air, kind of like trying to blind it with
Water?
sand, you know?
But with water.
But with water, I'm sure it will do nothing.
It definitely, the water just kind of phases through it.
Perfect. And then I use this amazing distraction I thought I've created to spin my spear around and stab upwards from underneath. And I say, spring bloom attack. And I bring it up like a
Spring
flower
bloom.
growing out of the ground.
All right.
I don't know. And I attack with my spear.
Yeah.
Natural 15, 21.
That hits for sure.
Nice. Got the D8. Oh, that's 11 damage.
Ooh, all right. It's already starting to look pretty hurt.
Nice. Bonus actions.
Growls at you.
Yeah, nothing yet. I'm gonna move so that I'm not next to the pond anymore. I'm just gonna flank around it, so I'm still within melee.
Okay.
But I want to kind of be away from the water, so I don't fall in or anything like that.
All right. Yeah.
That's my
You can do
turn
that.
then. I say, Alfred, rain feather fury down from the sky.
I just
It was a
don't
long
know
one.
why,
Sorry.
but I just got an image of in Overwatch Farah doing her ult.
Alfred spreads his wings and feathers shoot out. Homing feathers shoot out forward if you will allow an ultimate ability of
Yeah.
Alfred. He got a natural 1.
Oh no.
So as expected,
That is-
they're just feathers.
They're just feathers. One just kind of like floats down and maybe like lands on top of the guy's head.
And I go, we'll workshop that. That was cool though. And then that's his turn.
Okay. All right. It is the other Fume Drake's turn now.
Yep.
He is going to swoop down and take a swipe at Yarg. That misses horribly. And is going to stay in melee.
Okay.
I think. Just kind of like staying in combat with you. It's the other one's turn now, unfortunately.
Back at the top of the turn.
Back
Okay.
at the top of the turn. It growls and takes another swipe at you. Or does a 15 hit?
That exactly hits.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Nice. It's not nice. It's bad.
Well, it's actually is nice because I got 1 on my damage. So
Only 1?
Mhm.
Wow. All right.
So you take 1 damage.
Can do.
Now it is Yarg's turn. Yarg is going to do something he hasn't done before.
What?
As a currently level 2 barbarian,
Aha!
I have never revealed his class before because I forgot. He is a level 2 barbarian, so he is going to get a little mad.
Yeah.
And he kind of just like stares at the Fume Drake for a little bit, and you can just see him kind of like trying to work himself up.
Nice.
And then he just gives out what you would expect to be like an angry roar. And he just goes, yeah! And is going to use his bonus action to rage.
Nice. I say, get it, Yarg. Yes.
Which I
Feathered
believe-
Fang Fury.
And he is going to jump at this Fume Drake
Okay.
to take a stab at it for 23.
Nicely done,
I
Yarg.
technically get advantage on that, but I got a 5. Okay, and he takes 4 damage possible. 10
10 damage. Nicely done, Yarg.
to this guy, which is looking very hurt. Starting to kind of leak a little bit of the gas, like
Okay.
more losing form.
Nice.
It is your turn now.
Is my turn. I'm saving my dice. Okay. I am going to spin my spear around and try to hit this thing with the butt end of the spear.
Ooh, nice.
And try to like knock it sideways away from the pool. And I say, this hot spring belongs to the people. And
It's a public hot spring.
it's a public hot spring. It's not huge. 15 to hit.
Ooh, yeah, that hits.
Nice. Good. Okay. 4. Oof. 5 damage.
All right, to the one next to you.
Yep.
Starting to look pretty hurt. Again, losing that form
Okay.
a little.
I say, Alfred, just a normal attack this time. Just fly in, just do your normal thing.
All right. He kind of looks a little indignant, but flies down.
He
to
does
take
get a
swipe.
natural 19, so I'm sure
Ooh.
that hits.
Yes, that hits.
So, 1 damage.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's my
very
turn.
good. That's your turn.
And I spin my spear and I kind of stand with a defensive stance in front of the hot springs to the one that I pushed to the side.
Because it's public hot spring. All right.
That's right.
The other Fume Drake is going to go and... No, that position still doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, he is going to take a claw attack down at Yarg.
Okay.
Which does hit. However, Yarg is raged. That is half damage. I haven't dealt with resistances before.
Right.
1 damage. The Fume Drake is going to kind of strafe around Yarg a little bit to get behind him,
Oh, okay.
but still in melee.
Okay.
It's Yarg's turn. He's going to turn around and again jump at this creature. It's... Yarg exactly did enough damage to this
Nice.
Fume Drake. He stabs into it, and it just poofs into a cloud of noxious fumes, because they have Death Burst.
No, that's bad.
So, you are far enough away,
Oh,
though,
good.
so
Then
it
that's
is
not too bad for
just
me.
Yarg. Oh, no. See, the real thing is that Yarg doesn't take damage from attacks. He takes damage from area of effects, because he absolutely failed. Saving throw. He takes 5 damage.
Okay. Hope this pond works.
But now it is your turn. Yeah, your turn.
Because that one was the one that
That
blew
one
up.
was the one that blew up.
All right. I am going to...
The one next to you is looking pretty hurt.
Looking pretty hurt. I'm going to spin my spear around, and then I'm going to do a windmill attack.
Ooh.
And I said, windmill attack! And I'm going to keep spinning it and then try to slash at it. 17.
Yes, that
Perfect.
hits for
Come
sure.
on, big money. That is 6 damage.
Ooh, how do you want to do this?
Aha! I keep the spin going, and I spin so much that instead of defeating it, I like to think it disintegrates and the fumes dissipate, and I just blow it
Ooh.
away.
Nice. I like that.
I say, Yarg, you good? You look so
Yeah.
angry.
I'm all right. He kind of takes a deep breath for a couple
Okay.
seconds and calms down. That was fun.
That was cool. I mean, I'm a little hesitant to go touch the pool again, but I'm down to try if you are.
We found the hot spring.
We did find the hot springs.
He definitely just goes and jumps in.
Okay, I follow suit.
Mhm.
I stick my
Alright.
spear in the sand dirt, and I jump in, and I say, cannonball!
You make a large splash.
Wonderful.
All right. You remember Runara saying that this was the site of a brass dragon's death?
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that, and I go, oh, I hope this is just normal water.
But you do know that causes magic effects. This water is partly glowing, and as you're in... Did you take any damage?
Yeah, I took 9 damage.
Oh, all right. You kind of feel this almost rejuvenate you a little bit.
Ooh.
After, only 10 minutes, can you roll one of your hit dice?
Oh, I will gladly. Oh, yeah.
You get
I get 7.
7 health back.
Nice.
Yarg. Ooh, Yarg got his full health back.
Nice. I'm only 1 off.
Nice.
Ooh, I feel so good in this pool, Yarg.
This is nice.
I say, Alfred, come on down here. Alfred didn't take any damage, but...
Alfred definitely just I like to think that he just sits on the edge and dips his claw in because he is an owl.
He doesn't want to
He's
get
not
wet.
a water bird.
Yeah. I sit there for a while and I say, Yarg, that thing you did in the battle, that was pretty cool. What was that?
I haven't really done that before, but I don't know. Back when I was hunting, they always told us to get mad.
Oh, to
to-
get mad.
To be more more effective,
More draconic?
more powerful, at least for a little time.
Where you grew up, was that a good place?
It was all right.
Okay.
And I mean, learning mixie brewing with Syl was fun, but
Right. How were the other people, though?
I mean,
They were fine?
I knew some people.
Okay. Well, I liked it. It was cool. Very feathered fang of you.
I think the windmill trick was cool too.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well, I look from here in the pool. Can I see towards this tower now that I'm paying attention, or the pillar that it's on?
You are on the shore.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there's probably too much of a bend in the shore for you to see.
So it's not on this beach specifically.
No.
It's around the corner still?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I take my time, and then I'm going to clamber out eventually.
There are these weird mushrooms around here.
Oh, there are. Oh, are there any of those crystals, too? Because the last time I saw these dragons, there were purple and orange crystals in the cave. Or just these mushrooms?
I think you do notice, like maybe at the bottom of this pool, maybe a single orange, or a single purple crystal, but it's small.
I say, Yog, you're a mixy brewer. What do you think about these mushrooms? And I go poke one.
You poke one?
Yeah.
It puffs out.
I dive into the water.
A cloud of rainbow spores. It puffs out a cloud of rainbow spores. And you poked it? Were you leaning in close when you poked it?
And then I tried to flinch away, but I'm sure I got spores in me.
Yep, you got spores in your face. You dive into the water.
Uh-huh.
You can still breathe.
Underwater?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I pop back up and I say, you guys, you won't believe it. And I grab Yarg's face and I slam it into a mushroom. No, I'm just kidding. But I do say, check this out. And as he gets close, I just punch it.
He just goes, gah, gah, and falls back down in the water and then pops back up. Oh, that's cool.
That's super cool. I wonder if can that work? Can I pick one?
Yeah.
I pick one?
They're mushrooms.
And then try to squeeze it. Does it still poof out?
Yeah, it poofs.
Okay. I say, Alfred, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to try this out.
He just goes, ooh.
And I ploof it into Alfred's face, and then I set him in the pool, and I say, try swimming.
He's probably not going to be able to fly for a little while.
But
right. I like to think that he just sinks.
He's just walking around on the bottom.
Yeah.
He's still
just
too
like
chubby.
waddles around to the bottom.
Okay. I pick him back up.
And he goes, ooh.
I know, right? And then I put him on my shoulder. Sorry, but we might need that if we're trying to get to this tower.
I'd say there are a couple ones that aren't producing spores. But
Okay.
there's probably around 6 here that are.
Can I dive under too? And can I try to pick at or see if that purple crystal will do anything? Or does it seem like it is part of the rock?
It seems basically what you'd expect of a crystal.
Okay.
It's growing out of the rock. You do notice, again, those vents a little bit, but they're really tiny.
Okay. Well, then I pop back up and I say, well, we should gather these in case we need to go underwater. And I put them all in a sack.
Nice. All right.
The ones that seem like they'd be poofy.
You have 6.
Okay. And then I stand out and I start drying off.
All right. Yeah. Everybody gets out after you, and you
Start making my way around the beach, I guess.
Yeah. Do you head along the shore?
Yeah,
or
I'd head along the shore, staying on the rocks.
Okay.
But I want to try to get a view of this tower.
All right. You come around a bend, and the shore kind of arches back up into a cliff again.
Oh, okay.
This seemed to be a short beach. And you do see, it's still a little far off, but not very long, probably like a 15-minute walk, if you were up on the cliff, to a couple large pillars of rock.
Is there anything
coming out of the ocean? You do notice a couple bridges.
Okay.
They're very shabbily put together. You notice like a pulley lift on one side leading from one of the platforms to a higher one.
Oh, okay.
There's no bridge to mainland.
As I look out,
mainland of the
is
island.
there anything on the first one that implies I could maybe swim out to it?
I mean, you could swim. It's a large, tall basalt column.
Huh. Well, I think I'd stare out at the ocean and I'd look at the mushrooms and I say, well, gentlemen, unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a connecting point. I think the only way forward might be down. And then I'm going to stand there, grab a mushroom out of my hands and I say, huddle close. And everyone huddles together and I'm going to slam my fist together and puff us all in the face with the thing. And then I would like to jump into the water.
All right. You jump in.
Okay.
And it's the weird feeling of breathing underwater. You probably haven't experienced this before.
Right.
You do notice, just as you jump into the water, a roar, slightly muffled since you're underwater, sounds.
A roar?
Mm-hmm.
From up above?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I look up above with the water, through the surface of the water?
You see, though blurry, you do see a large glittering blue shape swooping through the air ahead of you. And it seems to come to a rest atop the column farthest from Stormark Isle, the one you saw the pulley lift on, and vanishes from sight.
Oh, boy.
And that is where we were on this episode.
Nice. That's cool. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad I went in the water then. Maybe it didn't see me.
Maybe.
Exciting. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. You finally got the spot that you were hoping for.
I did, and now I have mushroom snorkels.
Mushroom snorkels.
Or
indeed.
shroomba diving. I don't know.
Shroom. I like that. Shroomba diving.
All right. That was fun. Well, I think that's it here. So thanks
Yeah.
again for everybody listening. Send us your likes, your comments, your everything.
Your questions.
Yeah. All that jazz. And hopefully we'll see.
you.
Well, we won't see you.
We'll
Talk to you next week.
talk at you
We'll talk at you next
next week
on
Dadventurous.